Hey yo guys and girls, I'm studying games engineering at university, and when we were due to create our first game, we were told that multiplayer is off the table. It's too complicated for two students. So now, still being a student, I decided that doing it alone should be fine then. I wanted to create a character-based first-person shooter, like Overwatch or Valorant, that don't hold back on wild ideas that big companies would go for. That's going to come back to bite me. Also, I decided to design the game around 1v1 and 2v2 gameplay, since this isn't the main focus of most bigger games and would be a lot of fun to play with friends. Also, it's a lot easier to find one person willing to play your self-programmed game with you than finding 9 other people at the same time. I decided to program the game using Unreal Engine, since it's very powerful, has tons of built-in features, great graphics options, and an active community. And I have some kind of previous experience with Unreal, which is mainly focused on Sawfish-related things, but still. I started out prototyping a bunch of exotic abilities for potential characters, but after about a month I scrapped pretty much all of them and restarted. It turns out that having complicated abilities but no characters, maps, game modes, menus, or netcode is not a good start for a game. So I started coming up with a game mode instead. I decided to focus on 1v1 first and add 2v2 later down the line when 1v1 kind of already works. What I came up with is pretty simple. Both players spawn on a symmetrical map. Whoever kills the other player wins the round. In order to avoid camping and rounds going forever, there's an objective in the middle of the map, which unlocks when neither player dies for a certain amount of time. Whoever controls the objective for 10 seconds wins the round. I designed the first map pretty much along with the game mode. It is obviously not finished and needs some more reworks as well as, graphics, but it does the job for now. Our first playtests made it seem like the map was a little bit too convoluted and confusing with all the different ways players can go. I didn't have too many concrete ideas of how to solve those issues, and nobody testing who is actually good enough at shooters to intuitively spot all the problematic angles, so I just designed a second map, trying to avoid these problems, and the new map does indeed feel a lot better to play. The game has 3 different characters at the moment. All characters have 3 abilities that recharge after cooldown and get reset when a new round starts. They also all have an ultimate that is charged by doing damage over multiple rounds. The available characters are the least crazy ones of all the designs I want to implement, but I still spend way too much time making certain abilities work. For example, one character can walk on walls, and well, let's not talk about all the problems I faced implementing that. After playtesting, the ability turned out to be completely useless. The characters all have different weapons, which I modeled in Blender and added into the game. I didn't get around to add arms or animate any of it yet though, and if I'm being honest, the whole process is kinda scary to me, since I've never done lots of animating, but I'll probably do it pretty soon still. The abilities are animated to different degrees, and the most important actions also have sounds. I did some work on the overall visual style too. In the long term, I want the game to have as strong of a comic look as possible. I'm still missing a lot of 2D effects I want to add, but I already implemented the shaders for outlines and toon shading. This does have the positive side effect that I don't utilize the Unreal Engine 5 lighting model, which is insanely computationally expensive, so my game runs on worse PCs too, which is always a plus. Before I get to playtesting though, I had to add some menus and work on the multiplayer side of things. I built a main menu and added settings like mouse sensitivity and adjustable crosshair. On a side note here, why does Unreal not have an implemented color picker but every other imaginable UI tool? Regarding multiplayer, I decided to start out with local multiplayer, meaning you have to be on the same Wi-Fi or be connected via LAN. This is not what I'm aiming for long term, but saves me from working on server structure while also building like the base game. I'm definitely planning to add online multiplayer later though. And when I first started playtesting, I was quite glad I kept it simple with local multiplayer, because there were some issues. Or to be honest, I was not too glad altogether, because nothing worked and was completely unable to connect to another PC. After this setback, I lost motivation and focused on the games I'm actually supposed to work on for university, and only came back to Goon Squad after a few months. I reworked some of the connection stuff, made a note to myself that working on a multiplayer project while only having one PC really sucks, but finally succeeded and got to play the game with a friend. It does obviously still feel pretty unfinished, as you see in all the gameplay in the video, and since there were multiple characters balanced without any testing, there were some small balance issues. Okay, some were not that small. But overall it was very playable and kind of fun. The lack of animations, character models, voice lines and such makes it a lot harder to play, since you lack important information, what the other player is actually doing. But the overall feeling of playing my own game with friends is really cool. I'm quite proud of what I achieved so far, and I will continue to work on it and keep you updated. If you have any ideas for the game, any other kind of feedback, let me know in the comments. See you!